Hello and oh jeez.
Well, I heard you, so.
Hello and welcome to the Overwatch Oasis League. Today we have week 6 of our tier 3 competition here as the Diving Phoenix take on the newly named Valhalla. Just waiting for a couple readies here to come through before we get started. Of course, our first map is Oasis. My name is Charles Seven Tang. I am solo commentating, solo casting, and solo running this lobby. So give me a second. Dude, Snoon, I'm sweating over here. This is harder than it looks. Oh jeez, I'm still getting all these wrong. Never run a lobby before, chat, so I am absolutely messing this up. So we have readies coming up from both teams as we are about to jump in to map 1 here. Oh, what's up, Pog? Pog, please don't do me dirty like this. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I put spectators in the wrong teams, dog. But it's okay, Lobby, because the pause works.
Initiating match.
Just 10 seconds and counting down here on Oasis as we see Bambi running and John Hawk running the tank for the Diving Phoenix with
Ready
Honey
for
and
battle.
Dark Trains pairing up with Doc and Steph in their damage and support roles. Dark Train teasing us with the Bastion, but switching over to the Tracer, and Danny Yuki with Rybuds over here on the Zarya, and Ravioli Stain on the Sombra. Could be really interesting to see the synergy that develops. And AdCat still just, we're waiting for AdCat to pick, and does eventually go on for the Lucio. Of course, some very open spaces for some lovely environmentally kills here. So we have both teams coming to main, no funny business with the pathing, but of course we do see Ravioli's team wrapping down backwards. Bambi does take an AdCat very early on in this fight, but Honey Biscuits does trade, so struggling over here as Banana Benjamin goes down, Danny Yuki as well. Diving Phoenix with a very strong start over here on the first fight as Dark Train get rid of Mama Bear in the front line as Bambi chases it and takes down Rybuds right at the end there. Ravioli Stain does end up trading as well in the end, but Steph goes down. That's an early Lucio death onto Steph, but a quarter of the way to a sound barrier already. So we see a very strong start here with Rogue Phoenix really showing as Bambi over here 69% to an Earth Shadow already. Nice. Danny Yuki only able to match with 50%, so that could be a huge advantage as they push left side over here. Bambi rotating just a touch late as Dark Train getting taken down a little bit early. The bubble comes over Danny Yuki as he charges in, swings away. Bambi goes down very early on, and the fight begins to swing onto the side of Valhalla over here. Rybuds getting killed onto John Hawk. Banana Jam does end up going down, but that is a very early swing over to Valhalla here on Oasis. Dark Train does take off Rybuds. That exit kill could be huge as Diving Phoenix looks to push back on very early on in the fight, but the res does not come through. Interrupted by Steph's Lucio. That CC could be such a pain when you're Mercy trying to do Mercy things. AdCat super jumps to safety over here as Bambi dives in. Doesn't really quite hit the pin, but does displace Danny Yuki. The pulse up comes out, doesn't quite find anybody as Danny Yuki has their shield up. Bambi just hard shielding over here, buying their team space, and it is 39% and counting on the side of the Diving Phoenix as John Hawk finds a Benjamin Jam in the back line. We of course have the Sombra on the high ground trying to disrupt the Ashe, and does end up forcing her to drop, but Ravioli's taking a lot of damage over here before translocating out. Danny Yuki swinging away with the Shatter ready to go, playing the shield dance with Bambi, of course. Danny Yuki swinging away as the Coalescence does come out, and Valhalla just forced to retreat into that small room to not take too much damage. But the EMP comes out, the Shatter comes through, just finds Bambi, but that's enough as Bambi goes down. Steph gets absolutely melted by the Coalescence as they have no healing. Bob on point just to stay in a little longer, but Mama Bear finds one, finds two as Honey Biscuits go down as well. This is looking very good for Diving Phoenix as they coordinate extremely well behind the EMP from Ravioli Stain. Valhalla over here flipping the point over just a quarter of their way over as Diving Phoenix just coming down to what's very, very close to one fight territory here on the first round of Oasis. So, Diving Phoenix opting for a very creative pathing, looking to wrap all the way around over here as the teams have switched sides. Bambi swings away, Ravioli Stain, the Sombra goes down very early. Benjamin finds Dr. Grill in the backline. That's a trade, 5-on-5 on either side. But Hawk, that's huge with the Flux as 2 goes down. Danny Yuki falls, and that is the tank line struggling over here. On the side, but Rybuzz has the grab come out. The beat is there to counter. They're not quite able to cap the point just yet as Honey Biscuits find Mama Bear in the backline, but it is swinging over to onto the Diving Phoenix as they are 85% and ticking up as they near one fight territory. Valhalla over here with a tire to work with, but really hoping to find a lot of value from this Valkyrie. So sorry for panning with the camera over Sigma's toes there for a second, but the tire finds 2. John Hawk and Steph both go down. Fantastic work from Banana Jam over here, exactly what they needed to crack this fight open as losing is no longer an option. The Valkyrie pop from AdCat over here, and the point is swinged over onto the side of Valhalla as they continue to pressure Bambi down, looking for some stagger kills over here. Danny Yuki on fire, but still very healthy health pool wise as Bambi is able to retreat to the rest of their team and stay safe. Diving Phoenix pushing it already. The Shatter comes out, doesn't quite find anybody, but the counter Shatter comes out as well. John Hawk falls to the charge, but Bob finds AdCat in the backline. The Pulse doesn't quite find anybody, but Banana Jam and Daniyuki finds one apiece as Mama Bear melts through Dark Train on the Tracer. Rivets find Honey Biscuits as well, and then a team kill onto the side of Valhalla. I'm not sure if Diving Phoenix are going to be able to touch, and they are not. Point A of Oasis goes 1-0 onto the side of Valhalla here in the Overwatch Oasis League.
Score 0-1. Ready for battle.
So we saw Valhalla capping the point with not too much time left, and if I'm being totally honest, I was a touch worried because Diving Phoenix there had 2 fights to jump in and really make a difference, but the Valhalla hold fast and managed to make it 1-0 here on Oasis.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
So here we have Ravioli staying on the Sombra that proves to be so disruptive to Honey Biscuit's Ashe earlier on this round. Daniyuki opting to push for this tiny little room over here. They might take him some chunk damage, but no worries. You have Banana Jam popping out those Junkrat nades. But Mama Bear finds Honey Biscuit very, very early on with that Moira skill orb already coming out. Dark Train falls extremely low as well, and that is a damage line out of commission here on the side of Diving Phoenix as Valhalla swings on the point, looking for a early point A cap, and they do get it. Daniyuki chunked down to a quarter health, but no worries, does get healed up. Banana Jambo is chunked down low, but firing away from a safe distance. That's the tank line on fire thanks to some good shooting from Honey Biscuits, but that Ashe died requiring a lot of follow-up damage to really make a difference. The hack comes out onto Bambi, I believe, but Ravioli Stain does give their life for it, but no worries, Bambi is down as well, and there's no main tank on the side. Daniyuki with a 2-kill fire strike, fantastic, as Rybuts take down Step in the back line, and Dr. Grill goes down as well, and that is a very clean fight indeed here from Valhalla. Diving Phoenix over here losing the point and not really having the chance to fully back out and recuperate as Honey Biscuits does fall to Rybuds as well. That high kill highlighter Zarya, so dangerous when she's at high charge. But it is a full reset here for the Diving Phoenix. So Daniyuki with the Earth Shatter online already, but looking to shatter into 2 separate barriers could be difficult. Bambi whips theirs out first, doesn't find anybody, but neither does Daniyuki. The grab comes out, doesn't find what, but Banana Jam finds 3 with the tire. That is absolutely massive. That's 1 ult to win you the game. Yes, Rybuds did have to use the Graviton Surge there as well, but Ravioli Stain coming extremely close to an EMP, which can often single-handedly swing fights. Dark Train over here falling late yet again as Diving Phoenix find themselves repeatedly being picked off right at the end of fights at the beginning of their resets, and every second counts in a game like Overwatch. Bambi here trying to take some position, swing away. The EMP does come out. The team gets the signal to go very aggressive. Daniyuki brings the hammer down, finds 2 as Bambi goes down. This is looking like another reset on the side of Diving Phoenix, but Honey Biscuits does manage to find Banana as the flux come out. It is interrupted by a hacks. Ravioli Stain putting in some heavy work with the Sombra over here, and it is 99-0 and overtime here on the side of Valhalla. Rabbit finds Dark Train, and it's looking increasingly difficult as Bambi comes out to try to touch, but absolutely pressured out. Dr. Grill, the only buddy on point, nobody really messing with him. More that's in their backline. All the focus on Bambi. That big angry German is the point of contention right now. John Hawk falls, the bomb is on point, but is pushed off by Daniyuki and is no longer contesting. Just the Ashe over here melted down by the Moira. But Valhalla looking to take this point 2-0 here in Oasis, but not a step and they do anything to do about it. They come out with the sound barrier, only managed to give it to themselves, but stays on for a very long time. Bambi is stunned in the backline and charged off the point as John Hawk comes over on the monkey. It is full stall hero mode from the Diving Phoenix over here, but the hammer down does find John Hawk and they do not manage to survive for long as Daniyuki swings away to secure a point B and a map win here for Valhalla here in the Overwatch Oasis League.
Play of the game.
We're really seeing Ravioli Stain here putting in absolute mega work here on the Sombra. Of course, the hacks coming in so large, but that EMP coming in is such a tight-knit space of the map there, using the geometry perfectly, but also, if I am not mistaken, interrupting a graph from the Sigma, which absolutely bailed their main tank out of trouble. Now, chat, please stand by as I struggle and fumble over the lobby controls yet again. We are coming up on Hollywood next here in the Overwatch Oasis League as Valhalla lead Diving Phoenix 1-0. I am very tempted to go for the Hollywood Halloween map here, but I should behave. So we have some subs coming in. Just give me a second, chat. Alright, chat, just give us a second as we are struggling to get one of our subs into the lobby, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the good old chat bug. Chat, give me a second. I know my job is to fill the dead time between maps, but my brain's smooth as hell, so running this lobby is quite difficult for me, because I am a small brain idiot. Alright, readies coming in from both teams as we jump into Hollywood here in the Overwatch Oasis League. Valhalla leading Diving Phoenix 1-0 after a very good display on Oasis. Hollywood point A, of course, one of my favorite points to attack over here, as the pathing and the geography of the map really invites itself to a lot of very creative ways to make your way forward onto the point, onto the payload. We have Bambi sticking here onto the main tank, most likely, as Holy Chuckster does come through to play the off tank.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Alright, here we have Bambi coming back onto the Reinhardt that we've seen so many times from them, with Chuckster on the Diva, Honey Biscuits onto the Widow, which will be very interesting. Widow not known for that point A defense here on Hollywood, but so very deadly in streets. And over here, of course, Valhalla coming out with the dive as it looks to control a little bit of high ground. Daniuki jumps in deep, gets chunked down very low as is Living Truth, and does get demegged even with the more right behind him. Dark Train gets the demeg, but gets Daniuki down as well. The damage of Echo here is going to be huge. Now, we haven't seen a lot of Echo here in the Overwatch Oasis League, but a very, very strong opening start here from Dark Train as they are 75% onto their ult already. The duplication, of course, you're thinking they're gonna probably duplicate Daniuki's Reinhardt, maybe Banana Jam's Ash, but we've also seen the Mora being duplicated over here as Mac may have to hide and make sure the enemy team doesn't get a random coalescence on. So just being forced to back out here on the side of Valhalla as they lose Daniuki earlier in the fight, but not PowerPoint gets picked as well, so they do have to wait a couple more seconds for a full 6-man push. The bomb comes out deep from Holy Chuckster. Do they find anybody? Yes, they do. Banana Jam goes down early on, but does get res. You do not make errors when you play with a Mercy. The Mercy just hits res. Coalescence is being popped out by both Moras over here. The Shatter comes out, doesn't quite find anybody on Bambi's side, except for not PowerPoint. Fergalington gets Daniyuki down with the Coalescence, and Bambi's Fire Strike is enough to take a Banana Jam over here. Not quite a spawn camp on the side of Diving Phoenix, but certainly flexing their muscles after giving away map 1. Says Trollins, it is 1-0 here in the Overwatch Oasis League as while Valhalla was managed to take Oasis 2-0 on map number 1. We have Valhalla pushing again over here with a minute and 40 seconds on the clock. The bomb gets sent in deep, but to counter that, the Echo duplication does come through. Banana Jam gets picked early again by Honey Biscuits, but does come back out as the Mercy res comes through. The Shatter comes through, finds Daniyuki as that Echo just swings away, creating so much space. It's really, I mean, you have absolutely no fear of dying if you're that Echo over here. Dark Train dying on the front line, but no worries. Bambi's right behind them, and if you're the Echo, you use their mobility to get out as soon as you get dropped. Just a minute left here on the side of Valhalla, looking straight into the face of a full hold. PowerPoint finds Fergalington as well. The Living Truth commits the bomb. The bomb doesn't quite find anybody, but Bambi's barrier is in absolute tatters over here as he has to stand very close to that bomb to make sure that it's completely blocked off. Now the Reinhardts swing away at each other, just a little bit of, you know, some mind games on point. You love to see it as Daniyuki goes in deep, takes a lot of space, but Chuckster does follow through and get a lot of damage onto the backline over here. But the the sound barrier does come through as Bambi gets floored by the Shatter, but Holy Chuckster finds 2 with the Diva Bomb, and that could be massive as Diving Phoenix continue to look and hold. Bambi finds Mac in the backline as that Moira dies. Living Truth is demeched, and this could be a brutal stagger, but no worries. Honey Biscuits does spare them that pain as Banana Jam goes down as well. A double kill coming out onto that Widow. I doubted the pick of the Widow onto this point A early on, and I am absolutely incorrect. So the tire comes down onto the backline, but nobody is able to touch as Diving Phoenix hold to a complete full hold here on point A of Hollywood. Valhalla, you know, going for that dive early on, but deciding to switch off after a failed point A, looking for something a little more brawly with Daniyuki on that Reinhardt, hoping to give us just a little bit of stability, but not managing to crack point A open, and we have to say Bambi playing some extremely intelligent Reinhardt play to kind of just play slow, play a little bit passive almost, and buy Honey Biscuits lots of time to do damage on that Widow here. Banana Jam is pulling out the cheese with the Bastion. PowerPoint on the Reaper there, just a little bit of a bodyguard with Mac and AtCat over here on the Moira and the Mercy.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So this appears to not just be full cheese, but a Secret Service protect the president. Banana Jam not even bothering to set up on the high ground of the cafe over here, just putting the Bastion straight on point. So you better be landing your shots, son, if you're gonna set up on the low ground. But Living Truth's Hog's Hook should be very dangerous here, and a huge turn for enemies to push forward. Bambi over here continuing to run the Reinhardt with Honey Biscuits on the Widow. Surely they will have to switch after seeing the reset protecting the Bastion. Bambi already pulling their team over here onto the left side, trying to wrap around, avoid as much of the Bastion fire as they possibly can, as Banana Jam is set up very cozily here in this back corner. Diving Phoenix kind of caught between two minds over here as they do finally commit to pushing onto the high ground. Not sure how I feel about those sight lines, but it is working for them so far as they're just putting in some poke damage and not getting picked off just yet. Setting the Sombra into the backline as Dark Train hoping to put in some work. AtCat gets hacked, but maybe not the target you're going for. But Rogue Ninja's on the ground and pushing. Bambi over here charging straight into Danny Yuki as they do get absolutely melted by Banana Jam, but the Diva Bomb comes through. Banana Jam doesn't know where it is and gets absolutely melted. Honey Biscuits finds not PowerPoint as well. Banana Jam does get res, but is a valuable resource burnt as Fergalatron finds Matt, Danny Yuki, and Living Truth. That is a triple kill coming out from the Moira. Banana Jam whips out that tank mode, but it is not enough as Honey Biscuits is completely uncontested in the backline. A very, very speedy tick here for Diving Phoenix as they make it 1-1 here in the Overwatch Oasis League with a very dominant performance here on Hollywood.
Play of the game.
We're going to cut over to our color caster to talk us through this play of the game from Moira. Hello, I am Charles, and our color caster and our play-by-play caster for the day. As you can see, this Moira is doing Moira things, and I am completely out of breath and will be silent for a couple minutes. Bear with me, chat, as I try to figure out how to swap the teams onto either side. Make the reds blue and the blue reds! Uh-oh! Hello, Killer Bot. How are we on this wonderful day?
Hello.
Hello, Killer Bot. How are you on this wonderful day?
I'm doing all right.
Can I ask you to please run the lobby for me? Because there's smoke coming
Yeah.
out of my ears and I'm struggling. So I'll make you
Go ahead
lead.
and
Yep, yep.
yeah.
I also always keep leaving the game. I know, every single person's on the wrong team. I don't know I'm doing my best, is what I'm doing. Here you go. You're owner now. All right, chat. Oh my goodness. So sorry about that. I'm still driving the camera, but we're here and we're gonna make it work now.
Okay, they're asking me to fix the teams. Give me a sec to get everything situated.
Yep, yep. All right, chat. We are 1-1 here in the Overwatch Oasis League as Diving Phoenix rallied after a point after Oasis lost onto a lovely, very dominant Hollywood display as they full held and then captured on what is the end of their first push. I guess technically was their beginning of the second push or end of the first push, but either way, kind of dealing with the Bastion very well. Although, of course, you have to say Valhalla just set their Bastion on the low ground, which is very interesting to me. But nonetheless, 1-1 here in the Overwatch Oasis League as we look to push on onto Hanamura next, I believe.
Yeah. Let me get everything moved around.
Yep, yep. Just bear with us as we work with some housekeeping. Alpha Caster is correct. Thank you, Drogon. I see you. But now just motor mouth. Actually, no. I'm still motor. I'm still running the cam. I'm still driving. So if you get seasick, let me know. It's my fault. Uh, who to root for, Drogon? That's on you, dog. I ain't helping out. But chat, talk me through this. What are some big plays we have seen? Some people really pop out? Anybody really stand out to you guys? Any thoughts on if we'll see Bambi play anything except for the Reinhardt tonight? Let me know, boys.
Wait, is not PowerPoint on Valhalla or Diving Phoenix?
Not PowerPoint is on Valhalla, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check to make sure. PowerPoint is with Valhalla.
Awesome. Okay, so we got.
All right, now that the lobby control has been freed up. I have a little more brain power. So chat, I'm also taking requests for the pre-game routines. I'm happy to hit you with some fancy drone shots. Just let me know. I'll swing this around. I got you. Trollins, I've seen you. You've heard me cast in a more trying circumstances than this one. Seth Trollins, you've heard me have to just talk on my own. Somebody else ran the lobby, but I definitely did all literally 99% of the talking on those games. So I'm feeling good already, dude.
Well, that is good.
Killerbot, just so you know, I double checked
Hmm.
the SR calculations in case you were doing that.
Awesome.
And we got the chat bug. Let's
Yeah, we
go. Let's
do.
go. No worries.
Chat
The
bug.
chat bug's worth it, dog. We got the reset basketball button in. Who needs chat, dude? That ain't the play. But chat, hear me out. So, Pog, Droga, I know you're in here, so you've heard this before, but hear me out. I have an idea for the Sombra rework. Seth Trollins, you might have heard this as well. Sombra, take away her guns, take away her hack, take away everything she has, take away her character model. If you pick Sombra, you have to play a man down. You're playing 5-on-6. But, hear me out. Killerbot, no. Hear me out. But, you get to patch into enemy team chat. You play with perfect information, but you play a man down. That's a gamble.
It's such a gamble because most times you're using that like in comp, you would just hear nothing.
But like,
Alright.
imagine the scenes in the Overwatch League. You know, like one guy gets picked up not because he speaks not because he plays any Overwatch, because he speaks like 8 languages.
Just hears everything.
Yeah.
Alright, it looks like we have both readies. Are we all good to start up the match?
I am ready to go. I am hydrated. I slept like 12 hours last night. Got a good workout in today. I'm stretched out and ready to go.
Alright, let's go.
That's the only way Boston Uprising are gonna win a game. You know what I mean? Every team runs the Sombra, but they learn Swahili. You know.
Man, that'd be fun to watch.
Alright, welcome back to the Overwatch Oasis League. I am Charles7Tank, joined here by Killerbot here in Hanamura as Rogue Ninjas face off against Valhalla. Wow, I'm so sorry. Diving Phoenix face off against Valhalla. Their recent facelift and name change got me tripping. 1-1 even here on both sides, as we are 1-1 here on this map as I try to take us on the most elaborate drone flight possible through this point A. We're seeing some extremely strong play from Bambi on the Reinhardt as they continue to go towards that what seems like a comfort pick. Chuckster with the Diva again, as Chad was so kind to point out, with some ridiculous bombs so far today. Daniyuki matching the Rhyme with Rybut's, giving a little bit of backbone and a little bit of spine to that tank line with the Zarya, keeping in mind that Chuckster's Diva cannot eat Zarya's lightsaber. So you're going to be playing off angles and barriers on that instead. Banana Jambo onto Ashe, which we have seen so much today. Adcast onto Mercy. 2 comfort picks coming out on the side of Valhalla.
Just FYI, my pause button is not working, so if we need to, I'm gonna give you owner a lobby.
Copy. It should be L3, but we'll check later.
It's R3 on mine, and I just tried it 3 times.
Okay, no worries. So, Dark Train over here on the Echo, the glass cannon pumping out lots and lots of damage, the ground Echo coming out, but they do get walled off and Bambi falls very, very early on. Now the rest of Diving Phoenix are looking to push onto that space that they created. The Honey Biscuits does take down Mama Bear, and Dark Train absolutely melts Banana Jam with the damage that the Echo brings. Daniyuki here goes very deep with a charge, doesn't quite find anybody, and goes down to Dark Train. Dark Train already here 67% onto that Echo ult, as the poor May gets moved away from the point, very close to the point A capture from Diving Phoenix, and they do make it work. That is trouble, as Adcat is still over here and eventually gets taken out by Dark Train as they are 15% away from that duplicate ultimate. Daniyuki here 3/4 of their way to a shatter as well. Could be huge, outpacing Bambi on the shatter count. The charge comes in as Bambi falls down extremely low. Daniyuki does find them very, very early on in this fight. Revolution takes down Dr. Grill as Honey Biscuits wins that Ashe duel. Valhalla here looking extremely healthy on this hold. No repeats of point A over here. Killerbot.
Yeah, that was an impressive hold. It could have easily turned into a snowball, but they were able to kind of disperse them, turn it into almost a death match, and they won it. So, nice job.
Walk me through the endless possibilities of Dark Train's ult here. Love to see the Echo being whipped out.
Honestly, I always like to
Well, it doesn't matter, Killerbot. Your answer is irrelevant as Dark Train falls very, very early on in this fight. Honey Biscuits taking that Ashe duel as they love to do so much. Mama Bear falls in the backline as well. Honey Biscuits popping in and doing work. You only need one damage dealer when they're as good as Honey Biscuits. Bob does get walled off, so not the most effective robot butler here. Bambi gets absolutely floored by the hammer down, booped and stunned into the backline, but does stay healthy somehow. Chuck drops the bomb mostly just to remake, doesn't quite find anybody. Banana Jambo falls, loses that Ashe duel as Honey Biscuits continues to find domination on this Western Cowboy as Diving Phoenix caps with 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in the Overwatch Oasis League, so close to that magical Reddit number. Very, very dominant take from Diving Phoenix. Yes, they were pushed back once or twice on point B, but taking point A on first of asking and point B after just a couple pushes, Killerbot.
That is a very impressive showing, and honestly, a 4.5 minute time bank? Not quite, but pretty close. That's a massive accomplishment on Hanamura on any 2CP, really. So we will see if the other team is able to pull it back and pull something similar.
Honey Biscuits irresistible on that Ashe.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, Honey Biscuits is a little oppressive in their in their DPS ability. Not gonna lie, incredible play, but I don't like being on the receiving end of it.
Fair enough. So Bambi keeping with the Ryan, both Danny Yuki and Bambi basically running exclusively the Reinhardts today. Of course, Danny Yuki flexing a little bit over onto the Winston early on in Hollywood on Valhalla's attack realm, but that is above 90% playtime on the Ryan. Both these teams know what they like, and what they like is very traditional team comp as Ryan, but sticks to the Zarya over here. That is a tank duo as old as this game itself.
This will heal you. Adjusting angle of attack.
So the barrier fight's going to be extremely tough to win on the side of Diving Phoenix right now, as Rybits is already looking quite charged up as they are glowing in every shade of whatever Russian weightlifters glow at. Yeah, at 50% charge, you're just going to begin to melt that barrier as that continues to tick up over to 75% charge as Danny Yuki dives in extremely deep over here. Rybut's doing an incredible amount of damage as Danny Yuki falls early on in this fight, but no worries, Agcat is there with the rest, but jokingly Sirius finds two with the Coalescence, and that is fantastic work coming out of the backline with the Moira, and that is a reset on the side of Valhalla after what looks like a very, very scary push, but Killerbot, Bambi and Chuckster just able to kite and kind of fend off that damage there and work that space very, very well in the courtyard.
They did a really nice job of dodging the incoming attacks, and again, they're just splitting up the other team, taking advantage of their numbers and collapse on them, and stuff right out.
So the Flux comes out, catches three, maybe four, catches three over here. Danny Yuki does get the bubble, but does get absolutely melted by Dark Train. That Echo focusing beam is so powerful, especially in conjunction with the Flux, given that it does so much extra damage to enemies under half health. Chuckster over here just investing the Flux and nothing else on the side of Diving Phoenix as they hold on to that Shatter. With Jokingly Serious already coming onto another Coalescence on that Moira, and Grill with probably what is the most important defensive ult in the current meta, other than a Transcendus on the beat of Lucio. The Shatter comes out from Bambi, Rybuts falls, but Honey Chuckster falls as well as the counter Shatter comes out. This fight is completely split as there's something happening at the choke and more fighting happening on the point. Bambi finds Danny Yuki as Dark Train gets rid of Ravioli Stain. That is absolutely fantastic work on Dark Train. I hear you know, chat over here talking a little smack how Dark Train got carried by Biscuits, but Dark Train putting in some work as Echo here defensively. That glass cannon of the Echo playing in the back line, you know, not as much as a flank character as kind of we thought coming in when Echo was first released, Killerbot.
Yeah, it is interesting that they're running.
So Bambi does get caught in the grab along with Jokingly Serious. The far barrage comes out, finds two. At first I was a little worried because it looked like it did come out from a little bit of a distance, but it does end up finding two. Banana Jam does get rezzed after giving their life for it, as the Bob does get popped. Danu here just shielding the Bob off, moving their way over to point. Valhalla bustling their way onto the payload as Jokingly Serious falls, and it is just Dr. Grill bouncing in and out off that point to keep it alive. But Ravioli State coming out of nowhere, and Rybut's taking a lovely little off angle to make it work for them. And it looks like a point A cap here on the side of Valhalla as they do it, just managing to avoid overtime. We see Banana Jam over to the Tracer. It will be interesting to see if that is a pick for B or just a swap to make sure that point A is cleaned up. So Honey Biscuits taking a lovely little off angle as they like to do so often. Both teams looking to push that high ground, that balcony on the top left side of your defending team. So the Flux comes out, finds four this time. Fantastic. Flux is coming through from Honey Chuckster as Banana Jam falls on early. Ravioli Stain and Mama Bear falls as well. Killer Bot. We have Holy Chuckster continuing to manage to win fights only using the Flux. What does that mean for the ult economy of the Diving Phoenix here on this defensive hold?
Well, as we can kind of see up in the top right corner, they have two ults already up with 3 more coming online. They are in a really nice spot, but the other side is similar. They have almost 4 ults ready to go, and Tracer's coming up, which is going to charge very quickly. And even Mercy's doesn't take too long, so ult economy is fairly close overall.
Could be absolutely fireworks here on point B at Killer Bot as Daniyuki continues to lead their team up to this top right side that both these teams have preferred so often today. Of course, we have Honey Biscuits over here continuing to take this off angle, just making sure Daniyuki cannot focus on just taking these stairs. Will be very, very interesting to see. Yep, Ravioli Stain does try to contest them, and they fall extremely low. Honey Biscuits in trouble, but does get healed up at Cat, does get picked in the back line, and Ravioli Stain falls to Honey Biscuits Dynamite. That is an excellent throw and an even better shot. Bambi finds Daniyuki as Rybuts falls to Dr. Grill, as the Diving Phoenix do manage to clean up as Bambi finds Banana Jam. That is a lovely little exit kill as well. Honey Biscuits winning every duel here, Killer Bot. Absolutely unstoppable today.
Like I said, Honey Biscuits is impressive. They are fantastic at what they do. But I want to connect in Valhalla, even though that was a tough fight, they didn't use any ults on a lost fight. They maintained their ult economy, so they're still going to be able to...
So we have a shadow coming out from Daniyuki, and this looks like an absolute mess on point. Honey Biscuits finds one, Chuckster finds another, as Darktrain and Bambi makes it 4 kills. And another hold from the side of the Diving Phoenix. I couldn't even get that sentence out of my mouth. That fight ended so quickly, Killerbot.
30 seconds remaining.
Well, when everybody presses triangle, that tends to happen. Notice there are only 2 ults up on the board, and there were almost
Fair
12.
enough. Fair enough. Well, Chuck's still looking to end this early, hoping to continue the streak of winning fights single-handedly with just pressing triangle. Now, press for time. Valhalla looks to push the low ground, but Daniyuki does manage to find a pin onto Bambi. Bambi forced into this corner. As the grab comes out, Juggling Series and Honey Biscuits both fall. Bambi and Darkfiend fall, so it is a 6-on-4, 6-on-2, 6-on-0. That's a team kill. That is huge on the side of Valhalla, just when you thought this was going to be it. Chuckster falls, holding that Flux, and that is a point B capture here from Valhalla. It looked unlikely, but they did make it work. That is the draw. That is the draw secured onto the side of the Diving Phoenix, but the win condition on board as well.
And unfortunately on the side of Valhalla, that does mean they've lost the ability to win this map. They are playing for the draw with 4.5 minutes. So
Not just the draw,
on
Killer Bot, but for pride and for love. But 4 minutes and 23 seconds to take point A over here. I don't. Simple's a very strong word, Killer Bot, but a path of not little, but a path of not as much resistance as it usually would be. 4 minutes and 23 seconds for a single tick, Killer Bot.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
that is going to be rough. If Valhalla manages to pull it off, whew, good on them.
We'll give them an honorary map win. How does that sound? An honorary map win here, chat, in case you didn't notice here in the Overwatch Oasis League, means absolutely nothing. So don't actually put any weight on that or any of the words I say. Ravioli Stain pulling out the Bastion, hopefully setting up on a little bit higher, setting up directly on point yet again. This will be very interesting to see if they take any interesting pathing routes and how they move around this Bastion. But Banana Jam with the same teleporter to make sure everything works and everybody is able to stay safe. Yes, of course, as expected, that's the Metro teleporter leading over to the high ground. Bambi goes in extremely deep as Starcream finds AdCat already. Ravioli Stain is protected by the immortality for a little bit longer before it is completely melted. Ravioli Stain does find it jokingly serious as Holy Chuckster does go down from the hands of Rybud. Sorry, not the hands, the beautiful exposed toes of the Rybud Sigma over here. And it does look like a point A hold on the side of Valhalla. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock as Ravioli Stain 61% of their way onto tank mode. With the aggression that is being displayed over here from the Diving Phoenix, the Symmetra could be huge with not just the turrets, but with the wall, just 69% of its way onto that ult. Very, very nice. Bambi swing away, trying to take an off angle and not take too much damage, but Ravioli Stain playing the point blank Bastion, playing the Bastion as close to the opposition as we usually see Reapers close to their opposition. Finds Holy Chuckster. If it looks stupid, but it's working, it ain't stupid. Ravioli Stain finds another. Dr. Grill finds a kill onto Rybud's Just Deflects. That is a lovely environmental kill. You love to see it from the Red Lucios of our life, but it looks like a hold as Jokingly Serious does get mowed down by Ravioli Stain here in the end. Killer Bot, no ults coming out from either side just yet.
We're pretty close to Coalescence and EMP on the side of Diving Phoenix, and truthfully, that might just be their win condition. They can throw the EMP out at the right time.
Fair enough, but do you just wait for 6 ults? Do you take that gamble and just flex on them?
Time to raise my APM.
They have the time back.
So the flux does come out as we've seen so many times today, but this time it is not from Chuckster. Rybud's catches too, but no kills quite just yet, but forces Diving Phoenix to take a lot of cover over here. Bambi does get mowed down, but the EMP comes through, not early enough to save their team, but Ravioli Stain does go down. That is your win condition. That is going to be tough. The Demon Bomb comes out, doesn't quite find anybody. The Symmetra wall cast onto point, but it is looking extremely difficult from Valhalla as more and more of their team keep dropping. Ravioli Stain does come back, but it is just a solo Bastion here on the high ground and on fire, looking to do their best. Bambi over here with a Shatter online as well could be extremely dangerous. Those hacks coming out over and over again on the side of Darktrain, putting in absolute work to nullify the Bastion as AdCat falls as well, as will be very difficult for Valhalla to contest, and they do not. Diving Phoenix takes Hanamura to go and take the lead 2-1 against Valhalla here in the Overwatch Oasis League, Killer Bot.
Play of the game.
This, of course, the beginning to the fight that led to an absolute team kill to cap point B on Hanamura.
Sorry about that, I was eating.
Fair enough, no worries.
Yeah, so we saw an incredible hold from Valhalla. They held it for nearly 3.5 minutes, I believe. Did we almost get to overtime? That's a fantastic hold. But when you have a time bank of 4.5 minutes and you only need 1 tick, at some point something's gonna give. Like,
What do you think about the positioning of the Bastion? We usually see the Bastion pretty stagnant on the high ground, maybe taking a left balcony, but starting right on point.
well, playing on point when you only have one tick to go is actually a pretty good strategy. What's interesting, that Bastion didn't have a ton of sight lines. I was
Right.
worried at the beginning that they were going to be giving Diving Phoenix too much space, but they were able to control it and really put pressure on him. They forced Diving Phoenix to come to point and try to brawl a Bastion, which doesn't always work.
I believe Ravioli Stain has chat bug, so if you're watching our stream here in the Overwatch Oasis League, run to the bathroom, make some dinner. Uh, might be a second.
Oh, right. I forgot that it did that. I can't change the names of the teams.
That's hilarious.
So we will just know that red is Valhalla and blue is Diving Phoenix.
SR calculations are good to go, Killerbot. I am very smart and know how to use a calculator. So it looks like we have Ravioli coming over to play tank to partner Living Truth. Danny Yuki not being subbed out, but switching over to play damage.
So we got a ready and
And a
an
GIF.
interesting GIF. How did? All right, so we're just waiting on Valhalla
Yep,
to
yep.
give us the ready.
An
Oh,
official
this is gonna
ready.
confuse me.
So, welcome back to the Overwatch Oasis League. Diving Phoenix currently leading Valhalla 2-1 as they head to Gibraltar. Like I've said earlier, a lot of Reinhardt play coming up from Bambi and Danny Yuki, but with Danny Yuki switching over and Ravioli Stain and Living Truth making up the Diving Phoenix tank line, maybe given the geometry of Gibraltar, we should expect some dive coming out on that point A. Point B in Hangar is a lot more cramped, but there's still some good high ground to work on, and point C is kind of anybody's point at that geography. But Diving Phoenix may be living up to their name and running some monkey, maybe running some ball, some
Arriving at
diva.
Watchpoint
Very
Gibraltar.
interested to see how we go.
I love me some monkey play. And on his home turf, come on, you can't do Winston like that.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming. In
So
30 seconds.
indeed, we have Valhalla coming out with a dive, as the Living Truth is on the Diva, partnering Ravioli Stain on the ball. Banana Jam coming out with the Bastion to go with the dive comp. That's, of course, as you and I both know, a classic dive composition. Banana switching over to the McCree, not teasing us with the robot turret himself, as Mama Bear and AtCat partners them on the Moira and Mercy.
Stop the payload.
Very, very brave move for Daniyuki to run Afara into Honey Biscuits, who has been absolutely dominant tonight. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of angles are needed to be taken in order to stay safe. So no dive really coming out just yet. Ravioli Stain slamming down on that high ground, trying to be a little bit disruptive, but nobody really doing a full dive execution just yet. Daniyuki gets chunked down quite low, but does manage to stay up as Living Truth gets debacked very early on. Daniyuki goes down as well, not to Honey Biscuits, but to Dark Train on the Ash this time. Dark Train finds Living Truth as well as Ravioli Stain goes down. Valhalla retreating back into the spawn and maybe switching off the dive. Alright, so Living Truth switching over onto the Hog, maybe hoping to just, you know, giving Chuckster a little bit to think about, not able to take such aggressive angles. The ball Hog composition is one that I can't say that I ran too often myself. The only synergy given between these two heroes, I think, is the lore, probably. The fact that they both live in Australia. But more than might, that is Bambi going down to Banana Jam very early on as Dr. Grill goes down. I question the tank comp, and this is why I am stuck in gold. But Chuckster does throw out the Flux, finds 2 in it, but no kills this time. Chuckster breaking their perfect record of team fights won with the Flux today. And goes down to the ball. The ball, of course, doing a surprising amount of damage from mid-range, but Bambi melts them very, very quickly as Mama Bear goes out with their life, managing to hold onto the Coalescence in the process.
Looks like they are going to be able to back out and potentially stabilize while the rest of their team comes in.
Killerbot, talk me through this tank lineup from Valhalla.
It's interesting. I guess what you kind of want to be looking for, you want the ball to go in and cause disruption so the Hog can get, in the chaos, can potentially get a hook, and then everybody else can focus them. I don't know, it's a very strange composition, with not a lot of damage to do.
Well, the mines to go out on point, but the Sigma Shield is there to break half of it with the Coalescence over here to pressure Valhalla to make sure they behave themselves in that server room, but Banana comes in big, picks out Chuckster. Bambi goes down to the far barrage, and that is your tank line out of commission on the side of Diving Phoenix. But the EMP comes through. Is that enough to swing the fight? It might just be as Dr. Grill pops the rally, keeps everybody topped up. You do not need tanks when everybody has armor packs. Honey Biscuits continuing to find big kills, get to double onto Banana and Living Truth, and that is absolutely lovely work here from Diving Phoenix. Kill It Bot, I did not expect them to hold after losing their tank line first thing in the fight.
I didn't either, but between the Bob and the EMP, they were able to put so much pressure onto the other team that they just couldn't do much about it.
And I think a very underrated part of that push, as we watch the VOD back, we're going to realize the amount of protection that Dr. Grill were able to provide their team. Not only managing to kind of take that frontline pressure and be the tank for a little bit and getting the rally out, but also making sure their healing is close to their main, making sure the healing is online and being pumped out to their squishies. Banana Jam does get res over here as Bambi finds Living Truth, and this is looking like trouble as Diving Phoenix cleans up on point to make it a point A hold here in the Overwatch Oasis League. Remember, this is a match point win this map and you win the series, and the Diving Phoenix now have a clear and present win condition on board, Killerbot.
Switching sides.
Absolutely. Whenever you're able to full hold before that first point in an escort map, you are in a good spot.
Honey Biscuits continuing to dominate with the Ashe. Of course, I think this as a tier 3 scene, this team this league in general seems absolutely spoiled for talent when it comes to good Ashe and good Pharah players, which leaves us as spectators with the wonderful duel of watching Pharah getting domed by these amazing hit scan players. Banana Jam looking to match Honey Biscuits on the Ashe with Diving Phoenix now running the dive. About time, folks. That's the only reason or you just call us Phoenix. But Bambi over here onto the Monkey. The first time we've seen him run anything but the Reinhardt today, I believe. Dark Train onto the Echo. Looks like their designated Echo player. And Honey Biscuits looks like their designated carry. Dr. Grill running the Brig here, hoping those armor packs sustains the dive. Here we go. Remember, win this map and you win this series, Diving Phoenix, as they come out with the dive here in the Overwatch Oasis League. Bambi immediately taking some high ground. That's some classic Winston movement as they look to pressure out Valhalla out of there, but Bambi falls quite early. I don't know if that's a safe spot for AdCat to res there. Could be very difficult. They could be just playing 5-on-6, and 5-on-6 dive is not something, a game you want to play. We see here on the side of Valhalla, we have Live in Truth dropping down to contest the point to keep it from moving. Of course, so many teams here are finding it safer to give up a little bit of point progress in order to keep the positioning of the high ground over here. But of course, you are not allowed that luxury when point A is your win condition here from Valhalla. But Living Truth falling early, as does AdCat and Daddy Yuki. This could spell trouble as Dark Trade just mows down the back line, flying through with the Echo, beams down the Orisa and the Ana as well. Ravioli Stain and Mama Bear falling late, and not just falling late, your two slowest moving characters. Not sure why Ravioli Stain walks slow though, given that the Orisa is a robot and has 4 legs. But Mama Bear is playing Ana, a literal senior citizen.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
So Adaptive Circuits engaged indeed onto the Sombra of all players, but the EMP is charged, and that is absolutely huge. Danny Yuki does get res, but I don't think they do manage to touch, but it's just a Junkrat and a Mercy on point. This is very tough, and on basically first time of asking, Diving Phoenix taking the point and taking the series 3-1 here in the Overwatch Oasis League. Ignore the text. That is Diving Phoenix win here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I can't read, so that text actually doesn't mean much to me. GG's to both teams indeed, chat, but stick around because we're gonna have to figure out who the MVP is, Honey Biscuits, and try to figure out who really contributed a lot to their team's success, Honey Biscuits, and was able to turn the tide of fights when they needed to the most, Honey Biscuits.
So I think what he's trying to say is we only need to find 2 other MVPs because we already got 1.
Yeah, I don't think that's a very hot take here to say Honey Biscuits will take the MVP slot. I think I saw AdCat put in a good amount of work, as well as Bambi. I was very impressed by Bambi and Holy Chuckster on the tank line of the Diving Phoenix, as Chuckster was laying down some massive fluxes, especially on Hollywood.
Well, I will have to trust your judgment for the first 2
Fair
maps
enough.
and so is the second 2, but I can confirm Holy Chuckster has been putting in work with those fluxes. On Hanamura, you mentioned it on the map, he was able to shut down pushes with just 1 ult, while everybody else was able to keep building theirs. That's just impressive use of it.
Well, so in the last but not least, the support line. Well, AtCat was, I think, a mainstay of this Valhalla support line, and managed to get some good resurrections off, and kind of when fights looked, when fights looked lost or were balanced on a nice edge, managed to pull through and get some reses off. So I'm a very big fan of their play on the Mercy from what we've seen today. Curious to hear your thoughts, Killerbot.
Uh, yeah, I mean, Cat is always a very solid healer. Like I said, I missed the first two maps, but I believe they were in the whole time. Yeah.
I need to scroll up because my brain is very little, but I believe you are correct. So sounds like Honey Chuckster, Honey, and Atcat are our picks for MVP. Is that confirmed, Killerbot? Before I announce it in my beautiful caster voice and caster tone.
Sounds good to me.
All right, there you have it. Here in the Overwatch Oasis League, as Diving Phoenix take Valhalla 3-1 in week, I believe this is week 6. That is Holy Chuckster, Honey Biscuits, and Atcat here as our MVPs. Congratulations and good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye bye, everybody.